All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today's deck is the Garurumon deck. Now, I don't like to play purple normally, but the Garurumon deck's actually a pretty fun one, and one that I think is pretty fair to play with. And so this is what I've come up with for the Garurumon deck, which is primarily going to be purple. There's some blue support, of course, and cards that help you trigger the blue stuff. But other than that, this is going to be a primarily purple deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we're going to start with four of the Tsunamon that if you have 6 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw a card. That's going to happen sometimes, especially because you are kind of trashing cards to kind of fuel your deck a little bit. We also run one of the Tsunamons that are not that super old, BT6. That's pretty old. When you trash a card from your hand, you can draw one. So you can still kind of pick a card up if you need it, right? If you don't want to trash one, maybe if you trash one already, you can just pick up 2 instead. We run 4 of the starter deck Gabumon. This card is pretty good. Gaining memory. Sometimes you won't have a tamer to help you gain memory. This Gabumon, when used strategically, can actually do pretty well. And it's inherited of trashing and drawing. It's actually a pretty good combo to have as well. So 4 of that Gabumon. We run 1 of each of the restricted Gabumons. They just draw and trash. Draw 2, trash 1, draw 1, trash 1. Both of them are pretty good, and because they are purple cards and purple Gabumons, we definitely want to run them because then we can go into our X-Antibody Gabumon, which is right here. Now this card you got to run a 4 off. It is incredibly powerful. I will remind you that if you Digivolve off a purple baby, you do pay 1 unless it is a Tsunamon. So if you're thinking of running a different purple baby, know that this card would pay 1 if you were to Digivolve onto it. So Gabumon X Antibody for free off a Tsunamon, and then if you already have a Gabumon in the field, you can also do that for free and search some cards. It's pretty good. It also has a pretty solid inheritable, which keeps you alive after battling something stronger, which is a very big key inheritable here. We want 2 Psychmon, 2 Gazimon. Depending on your locals, you could probably just change these up. Psychmon is primarily for something like Hunters or Crosshearts, or maybe keeping Death Axmon, although this deck doesn't go spread very wide. So cards like that probably won't run across those too much. And 2 Gazimon, gaining memory, is also something that happens. Plus they add to your rookie count here, which I like to have. I don't like to run just 12 rookies. I like to have a good cool amount. We also run 4 of the starter deck Garurumon. You definitely want to run 4 of them. He's got a security ability that you should not forget about when it gets checked in security. It also has an inheritable of trashing 1, drawing 1. So drawing 1, trash 1 off of it. And when Digivolving, you also get to do the same thing. Draw 1 and then trash. So again, you want to kind of trash some cards into your trash. You're going to trash some cards into your trash. That's duh. We also have this Garurumon with just the inheritable to draw 1, trash 1, just because you get 1 more Garurumon name out there in the deck. We run 4 of Broken Garurumon X Antibody. This card is actually really, really good. You draw 2 if you have You draw 2, then trash 2 cards in your hand. If Garurumon or X Antibodies in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you gain 1 memory. So if you happen to have an X Antibody under the stack, or if you go in on top of a Garurumon, you get to gain 1 memory as well. And on top of that, the inheritable is the one, same one as Gabumon. It can keep itself from being destroyed in battle if you just take some cards from your trash and put them at the bottom of your deck, which is pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie, because you're trashing those cards anyway. Put them back in. We have 4 of the Garurumon from the starter deck. I have the errata version. By trashing 1 card in your hand, unsuspend this Digimon. So if you swing with this guy and he swings to something stronger, you can just use the Garurumon X Antibody to put some cards from your trash back to your deck, and he'll stay alive. He also has the inheritable that when by trashing 1 card, you can delete a level 4 or lower. You can get rid of a something annoying on the field, something small, of course, if it's out there. You also run 4 of the Garurumon X Antibody, which is also pretty good. By trashing 2 cards in your hand, unsuspends. Then if you have Garurumon or X Antibody, you may return 1 Digimon card with Garurumon or X Antibody in its name from the trash to your hand, which is really nice to have. If this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, by trashing 1 card in your hand, unsuspend it. So this unsuspend from the inheritable, it's also pretty good. It's going to let you attack multiple times with this with the stack that you get. We run 3 of the Garurumon Metal Garurumon Ace. Some people are running 4. I'm running 3. A lot of the times you do want to kind of keep the turn. Like you don't want to get, obviously you don't want this card to get popped by your opponent. But sometimes you kind of got to risk it. Sometimes you got to just Digivolve on your turn, but you also have the option of Digivolving on your opponent's turn, of course, with a Blast counter Digivolution, which is really nice. But we only run 3 of the Metal Garurumon, and that's it for Metal Garurumons. Sometimes I'd rather just go straight into a Metal Garurumon X Antibody, such as the original one, the first one that came out, BT9 Metal Garurumon. When Digivolving, it can become a blocker, and if you have a Metal Garurumon or X Antibody, it bounces cards to your opponent's hands. This card is just really, really strong, and I prefer it over the new Metal Garurumon X Antibody. It's not dual color or anything. So if you're running like Wisdom Trainings, it wouldn't work. That's why I'm not going to be running Wisdom Trainings in this deck. But I just really prefer the ability of this Metal Garurumon X. And even if you don't have Metal Garurumon, because you only have 3, and you might have drawn one of these, we run enough X Antibodies to make up for it. And we'll see that in a second. I run 1 of the new Metal Garurumon. When Digivolving, it makes your opponent have to pay 4 when attacking with all their Digimon. It's like a broken ice wall, if you will. It's what Ice Wall would like to be. It's a blocker. It Digivolves from Metal Garurumon if you have it. And when attacking, by returning 1 Digimon card from your trash to the bottom of the deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as that card. So if you happen to trash one of the other Metal Garurumons, for example, if one of them is in the trash, you can just kill level 6 with that, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice of that Metal Garurumon X Antibody. I just don't think the rest of its abilities are good enough for me to have more than just 1 here. So we run 1. We run 1 Omnimon X Antibody. Because this deck runs X Antibody, the option, it means that if your opponent is left with 1 security card and you have this card and X Antibody in your hand, you essentially win the game. And level 6, of course. Then you essentially win the game because the last card will get trashed, and you can just swing for game that way. Run 2 of the purple mats. Set up your memory. Then when you trash cards, of course, you can gain memory. We also run 2 of the Matte Ishida blue ones that when you promote a Gabumon or Garurumon, you gain memory, draw 1. It's pretty nice, and it's blue, so it can trigger our purple options that we need to run in this deck for sure. We want some of those. We run 1 Cool Boy. Cool Boy is just really good when you have an X Antibody deck. There's just not that much room. There really isn't. We run 3 X Antibodies as an important card in the deck. Of course, it lets you Digivolve when attacking, which is really nice for this deck specifically. And it's kind of like a mini Hammer Spark, if you will. Your opponent hits it in security, it goes to your hand, and they lose 1 memory. It could end their turn. That's why I run 3 of them, because if they hit it in security, you'll gain the card in your hand, and they will lose 1 memory, which could end the game. Next, 1 Underworld's Call. When this card gets trashed, you draw 1. That's primarily the reason. There's so much trashing going on over here that just drawing that 1 extra card helps you pick up the pieces that you might need. So we run 1 Underworld's Call. And then the obligatory 2 blue cards, Sorai and Ice Wall. These cards are just really good. They're not expensive to play, and they can mess up your opponent quite a bit. They essentially keep you from losing, because this deck is not built to destroy like that. It's not security check plus. It doesn't have DP increase. In fact, running into anything that decreases DP by a lot, like 12k, for example, Wyvern's Breath, Final Shining Burst, things like that, will end the stack immediately. So you don't. That's one of the weaknesses of this deck, that you don't want to run it into some big destructors like that to keep the card in the hand. And so that is the deck. There's other cards that you could definitely run in this deck that I don't want to mention too much. I don't know if I would take this to nationals. Maybe it's missing a couple of pieces, but otherwise the deck is pretty fun, pretty good. Tell me what you think about the deck and what changes would you make, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.